how to be more productive. Today we have Marc Rowley with us, and Mark is a university lecturer as MSc level and a counselor, mental health professional, and experience facilitator. His work blends real-world leadership practice and psychology, neuroscience, and behavioral insight. So, Mark, tell us of your 30 years uh, experience in leadership as a leadership practitioner. Tell us what are the 5 steps that you recommend entrepreneurs in order to get uh, effective productivity, the most of them.
Welcome to Entrepreneurs Are Leaders podcast with Harry Sardinas. Interviews with world's most influential entrepreneurs that share tips about how to grow your business exponentially. Charismatic speaking, leadership, branding, marketing strategies designed to help you monetize your knowledge, find true happiness, and manifest your goals and dreams.
I think step one is about clarity, because most people never slow down enough to decide what extraordinary means to them. So we've got different ways that we can do stuff, and I defined success as behavior first. So who I need to become and how I needed to think under pressure, because obviously the work will follow that behavior as well. Later on, I can talk about my 6 P's of productivity, but I think as a person, yeah, clarity first. I think the next, so that's my first step though. Would you like to hear my second step?
Absolutely. Second,
Yeah.
all of them. Go for it.
My second step is problem obsession. So I stopped asking what I can sell. I started asking what pain do people quietly live every day. So it's finding those pain points, and either for me it was finding leaders drowning in stress, teams scared to speak, or cultures leaking talent. And when you solve expensive problems, then obviously that work becomes a byproduct of it, and your work, it removes that risk, friction, or loss, so organizations will then pay. In my case, that is there. I think step three is credibility through action. So I did the work before I talked about it. So I had 30 years, as you mentioned, in leadership within IT and corporate firms, and I got 26 years of training people. So years teaching resilience before it became fashionable, which I think we're finding now. And I didn't build a brand first, I built results. So I have a lot of results on LinkedIn with people that have worked with me. So, and I've got case studies that beat the clever marketing every single time. And I think step four then, it's systems over motivation, because motivation does lie to us. Systems stay. So I systemized how I sold, how I delivered, how I followed up, reflected, and improved. With same diary structures, same debrief questions, same client review rhythm as well. So ordinary days done well beat heroic effort just done once. So it's about keeping those in place. I think the way my mind works as well, I'm dyslexic with ADHD. I need have those systems in place to keep me not going off into different directions. And the last one for me is resilience with self honesty, because you will get knocked sideways, you will get knocked back, and deals fall through. Sometimes your confidence can dip, and sometimes if we allow it, our ego takes over and it can take a hit. And I learned to review failure without drama. So what worked, what didn't, and what's mine to own. I think taking ownership and accountability for everything, even if it's you believe it's outside of your sphere of influence, is incredible. And don't dwell on the past. Just find what the problem is, resolve it, move on. No sulking, no storytelling. Just extraordinary results come from boring consistency applied in meaningful ways.
Wow, dealing with failure without drama. What a powerful statement, right? Because when we start our first business, our business, I mean, being an entrepreneur, that we share is skill based. The more you practice, the better you become. So, of course, part of this skill development process is you have to fail. Things are not gonna work, and then,
Yes.
oh my God, I remember my first big failure. I opened a restaurant in Brick Lane. I have a look the story. I used to have a property business in London that was doing very good. And then I say, you know what? And then I open an English school. I open a career advice, and then I thought that was great in business. You talk about ego. I thought that was a big deal. That I know everything about business. And
Yes.
then I go to Brick Lane. I saw those restaurants. I said, you know what? This guy doesn't have any clue about how to do restaurants. I'm a big deal here, so I'm gonna open a restaurant there in Brick Lane. Oh my God, what a disaster!
I think
It was. Go ahead, go ahead.
ego is great for sales, great for marketing, but in leadership though, we have to,
Mm,
yeah, if it gets
100%, 100%. That is
exactly,
one thing.
exactly.
It's a controversy because we need to have that ego to become entrepreneurs. We think that we can do better, otherwise we won't have we will be entrepreneurs in the first place. However, scaling up that ego, if you really want to the business to grow, you have to surrender that ego
Yes,
and become a different person. Yeah. And
absolutely.
unfortunately, those reflections happen after you get a big slap on the face. It doesn't. And that's my next question to you. Yeah. Why, as entrepreneur, we need to wait until something goes really, really wrong to find out that, hold on a minute. Apparently, this is no, I'm doing something really wrong. Look, when I lost 2 years of my life in that restaurant in Bakeline, yeah, I call it, in my if I didn't have any clue of business, it was a Spanish tapas, and I call it Harry Spanish tapas. So you could call it Lola, Pepe. No, I call it my name. Imagine how big was my ego, yeah? The Spanish tapas, my name. I'm Harry, the big deal. Oh, God. 2 years down the line, when I start talking, after 6 months, nobody's coming in. I have the first halal Spanish tapas in Brick Lane. It was sensational for the news. It was amazing. However, because I didn't have any clue what to do, what I was doing, I didn't realize that to bring a new food to that street. And now, if you go to Brick Lane, 50% of the food is alternative food. I was the first. I was so early that nobody was even understanding what I was doing there. And of course, because I didn't have any clue what I was doing, I just have big ego. I thought that I can make it work when I started to talk with the restaurant owner, but then they all have 30 years of experience. Some of them have passed the restaurant from generation to generation. And they really knew about that food business. They really knew what they were doing, and still they were struggling. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
it was after the credit crunch. So I'm talking about Brick Lane and London because I know that you are a UK based. That's what I know you're familiar with. So why, Mark? Why we have to wait as an entrepreneur until something goes really bad? Because that day that I closed that restaurant, I lost 200,000. I lost my girlfriend that I had part of the day. I remember her mom was an entrepreneur, and the first day that I opened the restaurant, the mom walked in, showed the restaurant, and told me, Harry, close this thing, this isn't going to work. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So of course, after 2 years down the line, the mom told the daughter, don't stay with this loser. So I lost the, he doesn't have any clue what he's doing. So I lost the money, most of my
Oh,
friends, because I
wow.
spent 2 years Monday to Sunday trying to make this restaurant work. My friends, I spent 2 years without seeing my family, very little. They come to London. I need to go to a restaurant and see me. I couldn't get out of there. So, however, I think that looking back, it was the best master and business and an MBA that I ever passed because when things go wrong, you learn a lot.
Absolutely.
You don't learn anything when things you learn a little bit when things go good, but when things go back, you have a fast track. And sometimes in UK, people are no, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna go to the university and I'm gonna have this master and MBA and I'm gonna be the master in business. I always telling them, look, you're better off if you really want a proper master and MBA, open a restaurant and bring. You will see you're gonna be graduated if you can break even for a
Absolutely.
year. That's it. You are graduated in business and master in business and administration. So, Mark, why psychology as a human behavior, so say you're a specialist, why we had to wait until something really, really goes wrong in our entrepreneurial life to realize that this big ego that we have it doesn't really work like this, that we have to surrender that ego. And it's not anymore about have a product and sell it. It's about to being a leader and develop a leadership skill if you want to scale.
It's, the best lessons you can get are from people who failed. I mean, it's as simple as that. So if we
Talking
constantly,
about that, Mike, because I make a big drama out of myself. Took me a while because you said, no, I took failure without drama. And what are you talking about? After I fail in my restaurant, that everybody walk away and make a big deal about me. I said, what's wrong with me? I had to get some coaching and I started to do personal development. I had to treat myself because I started to question myself, what's wrong with me? What I'm
you
doing
had
this
to
messed
go
up.
through that though, didn't you? You had to go through that to be the person you are now. So
Yeah.
it's just part of our evolution. It's a part of our learning experience,
So how
isn't it?
we take off the drama? Because I make a big drama. Some people that they jump out of the bridge. I mean, I make a big drama of myself. I think it lasted a week or two, but I was a couple of weeks that I was like asking to myself, what's wrong with me, and making a big drama about it.
It's
Uh,
it's it's
so
about
how the drama out of failure?
how do we remove the drama out of failure? Well, get yourself a good coach for a start, and but
A
understand, it's
professional
not
like you, a professional like you, that would be a very good step. Yeah.
but it's not a failure though. This is the thing. If you hadn't have done it, you wouldn't have learnt from it, and then it's the next level. So it's like we shouldn't be looking at failure as such a negative. It's just an opportunity of what did I learn from this experience? If we can
Yeah.
reframing is one of the greatest things that we can do is reframe the situation. Don't think I failed. Just think, can I learn from this experience? I teach this in businesses.
Mm,
It's not failure. It's a learning
yeah,
opportunity. What can we
yeah.
learn from this? How can we be better? How can we make sure it doesn't happen again?
If someone back then, I think it was 14, 16 years ago, if someone back then would tell me, Harry, you know what? After 16 years, you're going to have an interview with Mark, one guy, and you're going to laugh about it. I would say, you mad, you crazy. What do you think I'm going to be laughing about? This is nothing to laugh about.
Life's too
Makes sense.
short not to laugh about it, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? We
Yeah,
can get so
so
wrapped up in it all, and it's all about me. It's all about, oh my God, what's going to happen? And
yeah, my
really,
identity, I'm thinking, oh, people are going to think
yes.
that I'm a failure because I'm making the whole thing about me, right?
Yeah, people, if you
And
start
that's not the
aligning your
point.
business to
Yeah,
to your
Maga was
identity,
emotionally attached.
yes.
People will go to a restaurant and say, Harry, close it. This doesn't work. I'm getting angry with the people. And they're telling me the truth. My entrepreneurs, people with experience, and this doesn't work, Harry. I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, what do
Yes,
they
yeah,
knew?
and again, that I mean, it is our ego, isn't it? It's taking over. We know best, but sometimes we have to bow down to experience and knowledge sometimes, and admit we don't know everything. Uh,
So part of this, Mark, exactly.
yes,
Basically, no, I realized that I was a baby in business after this experience. It was like coming through, I'm a big deal. And when this experience happened, I'm thinking, wow, I'm not like a big deal. No, I'm a baby in this business thing. I don't have any clue. So then, Mark, however, it's a process we have to been through. And something goes inside the psychology of the entrepreneur, okay, about this ego transition that we have to do. And some people now, I met people 20 years, 30 in business out there, and they still don't speak with the family, they still don't speak with friends. They are there and they are Monday to Sunday, and they're gonna make this work, and they are 10 years, 20 years, and because the whole psychology thing that made the business about themselves. Of course, without that
yes,
business, they don't have identity. Who they're gonna be? So even if the
absolutely.
business is failing, you had to make it work because who you're gonna be. And I think it took me a long process to disattach myself of that business. Of course, at the beginning you get emotionally attached because it's like your baby. However, if you don't get the emotional disattached and understand that this is just a business, that it have to function by itself and it's not about you, now you start to become a leader, which is the best thing that can happen to a business to grow and scale.
Absolutely. It's almost like when we get micromanaged, when we start micromanaging as leaders, we lose all the innovation of the people around us when we grow. And it's like we have to let go. Like you were saying, it's your baby, it's your part of your identity. It's too much. We have to let go. We have to, we should be employing people far more intelligent than us to do the work
Mm-hmm.
and to drive our
Mm-hmm.
business forward, shouldn't
Oh, when
we?
I started to do this, it was amazing. They sent me home. My office, yeah, yeah, yeah. My office was there at the, when the very close to the city of London. We
Yes.
have an office there. There was the office and the academy. And one day I arrived to the office for the property business. I started to hire people. In fact, in the office, everybody was better than me. That was the truth. My God, the guests, when I started to hire the guests from say they were selling the property better than me in the rooms. And I'm like, guess how you do that? I was so happy. I was so impressed with them. I'm like, man, how you do that? Everybody in the office, every time that we hired someone, they were so amazing that one day I go to the office and they told me, Harry, you know what? Go home. I said, wait, yeah, yes, go home. We take care of this. We can't grow this business without you. Yeah. I started to noticing that when I was away, I go on holiday for a month, I come back, the business is doing better. I'm like, that's, and my manager Eva was always telling me, Harry, the only problem in this business is you. I'm like, me? Except I just try to bother you guys the least that I can. I said, no, no, go home once a month. I'll tell you how we're expanding the company and everything. And like I remember telling him, yes, I go home. Who's gonna buy the paper for the photocopy? Who's gonna do that? She's telling me we can buy their own paper for the photocopy. Don't worry about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
and the first day you feel a little bit strange, but the second day you say, wow, that's amazing how they actually embrace the organization as themselves.
Yes.
And they also, I don't know if they don't want me to bother them or to, my biggest nightmare. I think that was what structured leadership in the organization. My biggest nightmare that they were going out for a drink without me. I couldn't even I couldn't even think of that. So I remember when I have this big ego, you have to do whatever I say, whatever. It was just a lot of stress in the thing, and I'm exhausted. I'm tired. Everything had to run to me, and in bad mood, and they're going for a drink without me. Whether I say, okay, how about if we have a problem, give us three solutions, suggest it, and you guys pick the favorite or we pick it together. I don't care. We try it. If it works, works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Okay. What if we are trying to do that? And when I changed that dynamic, they were all of them better than me at everything. Let's start from that point.
Brilliant.
Even when I'm running everything, it was with the same people. The chief was in me, not in them. uh, I started that when I changed that dynamic and I give them more trust and more participation. Wow, now they're okay, Harry, let's go for a drink. We're coming with you. Come with us. I'm like, oh, that's what it's gonna take. That they don't leave me out. Let's embrace it.
I love
And
it. Yeah.
it was so amazing that they even sent me home. And it was an amazing experience. So I turned a leader by accident. You see, by
Yes.
just thinking that okay, there is no way that they're gonna go out without me. No, this is not happening. So, they were my family, the team. You want to, if you want to go out, you can go with them. But anyway, so uh, that taught me a lot between versus the restaurant and versus the mindset that I had before. However,
Absolutely.
Mark, it comes to performance, especially if you own a restaurant, if you own any business. Okay, you have to be able to do a lot of things at the same time, especially when
Yes.
you're at 0 to 1. Because truth, I have to tell you the truth. When I started my first business, the first year property, I had to do everything myself. There was no money to hire anybody. So I had to do the plumbing, to paint, I mean, the plumbing, basic. But, no fixing boilers. Otherwise, yeah, I have to have a plumber that I call him at the beginning of my business, 10 times to fix different boilers. And every time he comes, he says, Harry, I fix it. I said, what was the problem? Oh, was this and the fan? Fine. Next boiler, this and the fan. After 10 boilers, I said to the plumber, listen, man, why the fan? We need to change that thing. It's not the fan. you know so eventually you learn to bring the nice people in the organization. But when it comes to performance, that phase that you had to do everything, take all the decision, you had to multitask. I mean, in the school, you're a lecturer, right? And they show us how to go from grade one to grade two to grade three. Now we become entrepreneurs, and it's not step by step things anymore. We have to do 10 things at the same time, a little bit.
Yes.
So you need to become a high performer. So tell us about your 6 Ps, how entrepreneurs in the 0 to 1 million or scaling up, they can become a high performers in the organization.
Yeah, so the 6 Ps of productivity I took from my 30 years of experience, and I came up with a system just to help businesses be the best version of themselves. So the first P, I need to write them down as well because I keep going over the same ones. The first one,
Absolutely, you can write it down.
the
Yeah.
first
So we are
P
looking
is
forward. Go for it.
the first P is people. So the people is leaders, but also employees. We got to remember, I mean, we all like to be treated in a particular way. So as employees, you've got to have psychological safety with them. So as leaders, we've got to provide that psychological safety, not just because it's high performance, but it provides an environment where people can call out risks, they can call out problems, and that's to keep. But the thing with employee engagement is everybody has a different motivation. So you've got to find the motivation of each of you individuals because everybody's brain is different. Everybody has a different motivation in life. I had one person who was working for me, a big chap, very quiet, just got on with things, but didn't get involved. And I just want that was not a problem with that, but I just wondered if he was okay. I found out that all he was coming to work for was to get money so that he could buy one of these big bikes, like a BMW bike or Mercedes bike or whatever it is, travel all around Canada. He wanted to just travel. That was his life's dream. And so once I understood, okay, he wants to, his motivation is money. And I said, okay, would you like me to, do you want to go for a promotion then? Do you want me to put together a skills analysis? Let's find out where your skills gaps are, your skills gap analysis. Let's work on that and then we'll get you into promotion. Then it was a case, do you want to do more work? Do you want to do overtime? Do you want to do this? And I knew I'd only have him for a short period of time, but I had the best 5 years out of him, and he was brilliant. He loved it. He achieved his dream, and I think he's still going around Canada now, which is fantastic. So that's the first P, people. Um, the second P is partners, because we have partners, suppliers and clients. So if you're not maintaining a good relationship with your partners, you're not getting the best out of them, and they will drop you like that, and you won't get all the good deals. You will not get. You have to treat people with respect, kindness, and collaboration. It's about collaboration. So with clients as well, I find being honest with them. Sometimes we can not be honest with our clients and tell them a few little white lies just because something's happened. But clients appreciate the honesty. You build a better respect between you, and you find out more. It's like, for example, with one client, they were fed up of salespeople going to them from the organization. And I said, no, well, we need to take people to go to the clients who are not just trying to win more work, to actually build a relationship with them. So I sent my service delivery managers over to them. And my service delivery managers, they're there to, are you okay? What do you need from us? What do you want? What are we doing right? What should we stop doing? What should we start doing? What should we continue doing? Having that approach. And it just made such a difference. It really did. So looking after your clients, looking after your suppliers, that's partners. The next P, the third P, is processes. Sometimes we have processes in place that are not looked at. And over time, especially with AI automation, we can change things, we can speed things up. And unfortunately, we do get people who become too attached. It's my process. I developed this process. It took me years and years and years to put this process in place. Why change it? It's not broken. It's not broken, but it's not efficient. So it's finding those processes that are in place. And it might be, and there was one I did recently about a sales organization where their projects were not going well. And it was the process of signing off of staff happened too late. So that by the time they got the sign off of the staff, they'd already started the project and they were already 6 months behind. It was a massive issue. So again, it's a process. The next one is products. Does your products sell? Are they the right market? Are they got multiple products? Can they be put together as a bundle? Have you got the right marketplace for them? Is there a need for your products anymore? Those kind of things. The last two P's, fifth P is positivity. So I teach. So one thing I do is positive psychology. So understanding positivity is infectious and it gets people going and they feel it and they love it. So that positivity, it really does work. It engages people, it enthuses people, it gets people wanting more. And you can do this with your clients, you can do this with your marketing, with your salespeople. The last P, and obviously I'm doing very high level here, we only have a certain amount of time. The last P is perseverance. So I obviously I'm a integrated counselor. I help people with their stress, anxiety, and trauma. So perseverance is building resilience. A resilience for you see what stress can do. It can ruin your immune system. Okay, that can make people ill. So you're going to have higher levels of illness in a very stressful environment. Burnout is a problem. Stress causes so many issues. I wouldn't recommend people get stressed. A little bit of stress just to push us through is fine, but not continual stress. That's not good. One for productivity in the business, but also for that individual themselves. People don't realize the ongoing effects that it can cause. The mind body connection is real, and people need to realize.
Maggie, if somebody is in love with this conversation and they want to know more about you, about your 6P process, how people can find you, how this process works, did they have to go to university where you are doing your lectures, or how people can get hold of you?
I mean, I've got a website, so hitleadership.co.uk. I'm on all social media. So Mark with a C, Marc, Rowley, Rowley. So I'm on all social media. So if
Any favorite ones? Social media? Any favorite
LinkedIn,
one?
I think LinkedIn for me is my favorite. I
Mm.
talk to a lot of people there. I keep in contact with people I've worked with. You get good relationships. I've met a lot of people that I do networking with on there. So LinkedIn, so Mark Rowley or Hit Leadership on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to connect with
Hmm.
anybody and provide them with a 30-minute discovery call to see if they want to work with me. That'd be great. But at the end
And
of
what
the
would be
day,
the process? What would be the process if they're working with you? What they can expect? So the people, right? We're talking about performance and productivity, which
yeah,
is
it's
a
what
lot of
problems do they
some.
have?
Yeah, a lot of people sometimes they say, "Well, Harry, I need to increase myself. I want to make more money. I want to do this." And sometimes when you look into the company, into the organization, sometimes it's the operation what is eating
Yeah,
up all the money and the
yeah,
and structure of the company. So sometimes maybe they don't need more sales in order to grow. They have to just
more
operate more
efficiencies.
efficiency
Yeah,
and okay, the last question comes to the organization because a big part of the efficiency um, is the structure of the organization. Some we see organizations that look like this Titanic case integration, and it's like a big boat that if we want to something, it's like we have the iceberg in front of you. You know that you're gonna hit because you go to a certain speed, but you're so big that and turn respond to change too slow that you hit the iceberg. However, we have another structure like how about if we have 3,000 little boats where the CEO or the founder, whatever goes in the first boat, and if this founder said, okay, turn right, all the little boats we turn right at the same time. So you can respond to change faster, which is crucial with AI and everything that's going on out there to
yeah.
be in business. So tell us in terms of how our high performance, how and the structural of the organization in terms of responding to change.
Okay,
What is your take on this?
okay. So human beings don't like change. We like consistency. We like the same things. That's
Um,
a built-in safety mechanism, isn't it? So you have to use business change management. Business change management is an art. See, first of all, people need to understand what the change is. You need to find out who the detractors are, who the people who are on board with it. And then the people on board with it, they work with you to find out why people have
Mm.
an aversion to changing that
Mm.
particular thing. And sometimes it's because
Uh,
they don't know. So explanations. I mean, people, I've seen
and explain.
organizations where all they've done is put up posters around saying, this is happening. Well, where's the training? Where's the understanding why the change is happening? It's an
Mhm.
emotional thing for people. So we have to engage. We have to
Mhm.
engage. We have to explain. We have to
Mhm.
understand why there are people who don't like the
Tell,
change and work with them. At the
tell
end of
me
the
about
day,
it.
yeah, you've
Yeah,
got to get everybody on board, haven't you?
yeah. Tell me about Mark. I've been asked to do conference about the topic, like, how can we close the gap? This is how in British, it's British language. Harry, we want you to do a conference about how to close the gap between new technologies and the legacy in the big corporation. Yeah, which is there is a huge gap because we have our big I mean, you don't, if you go to a bank in UK and you see the computer, the software is like looks like it's the 80s. I'm why these guys still using this software, right? So is the legacy behind in this large organization, and now everything is done with cloud computing and AI, and this is how things are going to be more safe. But if you go to a big organization, say, listen, we're gonna change, and we're changing everything. We're gonna change the software. We're gonna change. It's not that you have legacy in terms of equipment and new procedures and new things. Then you have legacy with the people as well. They don't want to change. So why are you gonna change the software? So I've been asked also to deliver workshop to persuade the employees, like, look, we are moving forward, and we have to adapt to change, and we have to do corporate training to help those organizations to do a smooth transition in the because they don't want to change. Nobody want to change. Nobody want to change the equipment. Nobody want to change
Nope.
themselves. Nobody want to, and it's and the big organization say, you know what? Let's leave it for a little bit longer. And on top of that, hold on a minute. On top of that is a big investment. So because a big investment, nobody want to change. And so what the solution big companies said, they say, oh, you know what? Let's leave it like this. We don't want to fight that battle now, but it's a battle that you event the faster you start to maybe they can bring an expert like you to help them out. The faster that you bring someone with the right
Yeah, you've
skill
got to
set,
embrace people.
you
Yeah.
have to embrace this because otherwise you're gonna become this big Titanic that we're talking about, and a big
Invest in
change.
the change, business change. Yes.
COVID is gonna come, something is gonna come. Anything can happen. The new advance in technology, you name it. And if you don't respond to change fast, you could be I don't know, you could be like the next story for this huge company that they were a huge success and they're not around anymore, or they have to reinvent themselves big time and they were huge and now they are very specialized and very tiny. And you say, what happened with that company? Well,
Yes.
they were too big and couldn't respond to change so fast. And uh,
Yes.
and
There's
and
there's
and that's
plenty of
that's what
cases of
happened.
that, unfortunately.
Oh,
Yes.
we're not gonna
Lots of
mention.
cases.
I don't want to mention any company because why, Harry, you say my company. I say, okay, well, no,
No, no, no. Well, I wouldn't
let's
do that.
leave it generalized, but we all know those companies. They are
Yes.
public record. So anyway, so Mark, thank you so much for the broadcast. I think that it was amazing. I think you're brilliant and you really know what you're talking about. Yeah. I
Thank you.
like what you said though. Like, I brought result first and after I build my brand. Yeah. Great, because now you can use the result for your branding. So it doesn't sound as crazy as it sounds. You know what I mean?
That is
It has
true.
some, I'm to find the logic. Yeah. And I say, of course, you have a logic because now with all those results, of course, you can build very strong brand around you. As if you,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
with branding and the sales and the marketing is not enough. You need to have a track record to actually do the stuff that you're
Absolutely.
saying that you do and to
Work
have
work
experience, right?
smarter, not
Mm.
harder. That's all we need to do. That's the greatest, one
Yeah,
of the best things I
yeah.
ever learned. We look
Branding,
smarter.
sales, yeah, branding, sales, and marketing can help you a lot. But if you don't know what you're doing, and you
Absolutely.
don't have track record, you're not gonna last longer in the in the don't you think? So you really need to
Absolutely.
know your stuff. Okay, so Mark, once again, thank you so much, and for all of
You're
you
welcome.
following entrepreneurs and leaders. See you in our next episode where brave entrepreneurs like Mark do business that made the world a better place. Bye for now.
Follow us for more on charismatic speaking, leadership, exponential business growth, branding, marketing, strategies designed to help you monetize your knowledge, find true happiness, and manifest your goals and dreams.